Welcome Amanda Morse, List Perfectly's co-CEO, and Patrick Allman, List Perfectly's Director of Innovation. So happy to have you both. Thank you for joining us. Amanda, please tell us why you're here today.
Well, first of all, I'm so happy to be here and chatting with you guys. It's always a fun day when we get to talk together and talk about some new stuff coming for List Perfectly. Super, super excited.
Very exciting. Thanks for both of you. Very exciting. Thanks to both of you for being here. So we're talking about the Pro Plus plan. So how long has the Pro Plus plan been in the works, and what's the reasoning behind the new plan overall?
Wow. Okay. The Pro Plus plan has been in the works, I think, since List Perfectly first started, honestly. I mean, this is going back like 5-6 years that we wanted to get here. And really, this is just the start of many, many things to come. But Pro Plus I think it's a great plan for any level of seller, whether you're just starting out or you've been selling for a long time, you've got a big inventory. The features in Pro Plus just make it a lot faster and easier to list, to manage your listings, and just be a reseller. So you save time and you can get out there and source or do other things to build your business instead of the busy work that comes along. So we've got a lot of features to help you list faster, to help you better manage your inventory, at a glance, see what you've got. I mean, we'll get into it, but really excited for this.
So Amanda, you view this as not a plan that's designed for a particular seller. You view this as a plan that can be for any level.
That's right. I do. And, I think I go back and forth because, the plan will be at a higher price point. There's no doubt about that. But when you start thinking about how much your time costs as a reseller, I mean, it's like, if it saves you 20 times the amount of time that it would take you to list, to just do a lot of the things that you would normally do. And, you can go out and source. I mean, really, like some resellers can get out and source one thing and make the plan price. So, I mean, yeah, it's for everybody. And the great news is that when we launch this plan, you're not going to pay what will be the ultimate price of the plan. We're going to introduce this for 3 months at the Pro plan price, $69.
That's great. I mean, and that makes it attainable for anybody, which is wonderful. And you can build up to the next level while you're doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's a ton of features, and some of which we'll focus on today, but it's really, in a lot of ways, a Cadillac, in my opinion. And then one of the things that we do a lot of events. One of the things we've always been asked about, and we get asked about a lot, is auto delist. So let's talk about some of the features. Let's start big with auto delist. How is that going to work?
Yeah, auto delist. So full transparency, we're still working on it, but we will have a very first version available to test with the Pro Plus plan. And, really what it's going to be is there's so many varieties of orders that you can have. And this is something that we are continuing to evolve and develop. Like you can have a bundle on Poshmark where somebody comes and they buy a whole bunch of stuff. So then we want to make sure that we end all of those listings for you on your behalf. That's really one order, but all these things that we're going to work on, we're going to continue to refine. But yes, that's going to be part of the Pro Plus plan. You can set it and forget it. And that's the whole idea. And we're going to have features built in so that if you set it and forget it, you can actually go and check and make sure that we really did end it on your behalf. We're going to show you a status. And if something happened, like, we were not able to end something, you can go and just manually take care of it.
Awesome. So, Patrick, Google Lens integration is really exciting. It's been out for a little while, but it is great. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. It has been out for a while. Google Lens is an impressive tool that obviously Google created, but with List Perfectly, we have taken it one step further to help sellers and help users to integrate it into their business with just a couple clicks. So right on your images as you're uploading, There's a really fast little option that you can get into the Google Lens feature. And for anybody that hasn't used Google Lens, essentially it is taking an image and then searching the internet. And whenever you have access to that as sellers and in our world, you get an opportunity to immediately see where listings are listed, what pricing, what price points they're at, what maybe it's a product that you're not really sure about, and you can snap a photo just with a photo, and then you're in and seeing what it is exactly off of the photo.
So and I think that's a great, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Patrick, but I think that's great for people who are like thrifters or they do yard sales or estate sales. Sometimes you don't know what something is, but your gut tells you, hey, I think this is worth some money. And so being able to just pull it out and do it. And what I find interesting is I'll start a listing right then. Like it pops up, I'm like saving that sucker and I'm moving on. I mean, it's just a great workflow balance too. I think it's really helped.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like we said, this is we've had the integration for a little bit now, and this is available at the Pro plan level. Any plan can use it, but in talking about Pro Plus specifically, this coupled with some other features that we're going to discuss really helps cut down listing time, number one, but also number two, it's probably going to help a lot of people because we're already seeing it get out of, maybe their selling comfort zone. Get into some other products that they're not always comfortable selling because it's so easy to get an idea of what the product it is, get pricing. You can copy text off of an image. So that's a huge deal to be able to get that text off of an image if you're talking about selling books and things like that. So super helpful.
I saw a Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock cookie jar out in the wild on a Star Trek Facebook group that a friend of mine follows. And I thought that was pretty cool. I would totally Google Lens that if I was out and about because I want cookies from Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock.
Yeah. I mean, all those kinds of really bizarre. I mean, I always think of estate sales. Growing up, my parents, I always went to garage sales and estate sales with my parents and everything. And I mean, estate sales, at least in my area, always seem to be, I have no idea. That might be worth something. I don't know. So that, I mean, I really do think of a lot of value in that. Aside from, probably the more common use right now is just strictly cutting down listing time.
Yeah.
I was just going to mention that the pricing feature, even if you're not a yard sailor or a thrifter and you're not selling something unique, you might have something common. But with that image and Google Lens is picking up the price and they're showing you, hey, this is available on eBay for this price or this price. And so you really get a really good bird's eye view of that listing and it can help for any type of listing.
Agreed completely. And I've also had some people tell me that it has changed maybe where they were going to place that image, that product first, because maybe it was worth more on Mercari than it was on eBay. So maybe I'm going to try Mercari for a couple of weeks before I cross post it or whatever. It really is. It just gives you a lot of information in a very short amount of time and in a small package, which is just helps on so many levels.
All right, Amanda, we're going to touch on something I know is near and dear to your heart, the AI integrations that are coming with the Pro Plus. AI's all over the news now, different uses. eBay's launched it. So this is exciting. So tell us about the AI integrations with Pro Plus, please.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I am very excited. So this is actually in two parts. We have with Pro Plus, we are integrated with ChatGPT, and I know a lot of people are out there using it. It really is a game changer. So what we've done is integrated this into the listing flow with Pro Plus, and you basically click on Add Listing. You're going to see a pop-up for Listing Assistant. And you actually have two options. First, you can put a title, create your title, and just put a lot of information on that title. Make the title like you would add for eBay or any marketplace. And what ChatGPT will do is take the information from your title and build a lot of the listing. So we're going to get the size, the brand, the material, the color. If you've included all these things, ChatGPT will be able to get it, create your description, suggest keywords, and a bunch of other things. So now what the other question that we get is, well, what happens if I just want to maybe tweak a listing that I already have and see what ChatGPT can do with it? You can do that too. So for any listing that you've already done, you'll have a button, suggest description. You click it, and that will send it to ChatGPT. It'll send your title, and if you filled in brand, color, all those other things, we'll send all of that over to ChatGPT, and it will get you a suggested description and keywords.
Cool. I like
Yeah,
it.
I mean, honestly,
awesome.
it's amazing because it's building descriptions the way that it should be built, with bullet points, formatting, easy to read, and obviously it's ChatGPT. You want to check the content.
Yeah.
You don't want to just assume ChatGPT knows everything about your listing. You are ultimately the knowledge of it, but it saves. I mean, I think it saves about 4 times the effort in listing.
And it's amazing because sometimes it will say something and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's good. Like not something that I wouldn't even have thought of, right? You know what I mean? But then it also puts in stuff and I'm like, no, I don't want that. And I just get rid of it. It is awesome. And I think it will only continue to get better. So, I mean, it's fantastic. And it's definitely a game changer. And another thing that I personally think is a game changer is the ability to use a barcode. We now can scan with our phone, use our webcam, or you can use a handheld scanner, from a USB that you would put into your computer. So can you guys tell us a little bit more about that? I think this could be almost as good as ChatGPT personally.
I'll let Patrick take that one. Patrick has actually been scanning and scanning away.
Yeah. I scan pretty much everything in my house that has had a barcode, from clothing to boxes of cereal and, anything that I can, just to test it out and take a look. Yeah, no, Trish, you're 100% right. I mean, it can be as valuable as the ChatGPT for some products. And, basically, and it's fun to do too. So, I mean, the scanner is built in to be able to be used in multiple different ways. Lots of sellers and users have actual handheld scanners that they use with their computers. They can scan it right from there. You can scan it from your mobile device. You can scan it from a webcam that we're using here. All of these things just enable, and you show the barcode in it and it scans. So once that product has been scanned, you'll then access the database and get as much information that is available. And that could include photos, titles, descriptions, specific details like size, color, brand, keyword, shipping dimensions. So again, it's going to be kind of dependent on what products you are scanning, but the results are impressive. I mean, something even like this. I actually have this sitting right here. This old hockey video game. It's from 1994, 1995, and I scanned it the other day.
Patrick. Old video game from 1995.
Video game,
Patrick.
In video game world, this is old. This is vintage. Okay? Even Etsy says this is vintage. So, hey, it's old. But, I scanned it the other day and immediately pulled in pictures, title, description, just off of one scan. So, I mean, it was so fast, so easy to use. And with it being so flexible, because right away we got questions. Do I have to have a scanner? Do I have to have a scanner? And no, your phone, your camera on your phone. So, now take this, we talked about people out and sourcing and things like that. Now it's giving you could be sitting in line if you're doing retail arbitrage, waiting to check out starting listings.
I think that is something that is great, to be honest with you. Somebody like me who, if I'm buying a cart full of stuff, which I have been known to do that on occasion, I would love to be able to sit there and just start doing and then, because I hate sitting idle, and I used to use that time to like cross post and stuff, but that on my phone, being able to just do that would give me a new sense of like, I am being so productive here, like it is great. It's awesome.
Yeah, and as we're talking about these features, I want to kind of connect the dots to some other features that we talked about in the beginning. If you're coupling things like Google Lens with these other features, you're talking about from one photo, you have been able to use the Google Lens integration, find the product, figure out what the title might be, where you want to list it, and a rough price point. And with that, you're using the description generator, or if you have a handy barcode, all of the details in the entire listing might be built for you. Not everyone's going to be an absolute slam dunk, but there's products out there because we've seen it already. We've seen users that are using it be able to use it in that way and cut down the listing time.
In a meeting we had the other day, I said, ignorantly, I'm going to admit, ignorantly, I said, so this is going to be great for people who do retail arbitrage, but not so much for people who are like in vintage. And man, did they jump on me. They jumped on me. They're like, no, did you see this? Did you see that? Blah, blah, blah. So I think the gradient of how much information you're getting is exactly the important part of that statement. For somebody who it's a very unique item, whatever, you might get less. And for somebody who has a barcode and it's an up-to-date, you might get more. But the fact that you get any is a game changer. The fact that we get anything put into a listing almost completely automatically is a game changer in how fast you can list, what you're listing, maybe your price point, maybe your ASP can, because you can list a little faster, maybe your ASP can go down a little if you have a volume-based business, so you can make more money. Maybe your ASP can go higher because you're going to be somebody who only wants a Google Lens and make sure you're at a certain price point. The ability for anybody, for any reseller to use this to their advantage is just, you can't even explain it. I don't think it's so game changing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, List Perfectly, we've talked about this before. List Perfectly, we always try to make sure that we're not boxing anyone in to do anything that they have to do it. So, even just taking this description generator into account, Amanda was very adamant about, okay, fine, we can give them generate the description at the start, but what about everyone else that wants to edit a listing? Or what about somebody that wants to create their title and do some other things, and then they want to suggest a description? So thinking about different workflows and, making sure that we're not boxing anyone in is definitely staying true here at Pro Plus as well.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we built everything so that if you're getting some line items like the wrong color or something, you can reject. And any piece of that listing that's not working out for you, you can either edit it or reject it altogether, and then we won't touch that in your listing. So that was really, really important for us to make sure that we had in.
Yeah, and I think it's huge to emphasize that you should always double check. There's a lot of things that are going to help you get started and save you time, but you definitely want to double check. And, it's just a good practice to have. It's like now we have the tabs that open. That's one of my favorite things is to go double check and be like, oh, every time I'm surprised. Oh, it works. It works. But I love to double check. But speaking of that, this is a feature that we've been testing for quite a bit called the sync feature. That's really, really, really exciting too. So Amanda, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, with all these features that we've got coming, one of the things that we've always had, we try our best to educate everyone about how important the item number on the marketplace is to store in your List Perfectly catalog and keep consistent. It is the only way that we can manage your listings across multiple marketplaces, but we get it. Things happen. Maybe you had a return come in, and so that old item ID, when you relisted it, you didn't use List Perfectly. Maybe you just went to the marketplace and selected relist, and that item ID is no longer linked to your List Perfectly catalog. Well, this feature is built just for that. You can click a button. We're going to scan your marketplaces and then report back any issues that we find so that you can fix it. And we got a lot of stuff that's coming that's going to help you. In the old days, you had to manually go copy paste the item ID, and there's actually going to be a new feature soon where you don't need to do that anymore. And I'll let Patrick take that one.
Yeah. The new feature coming out, the link tool. is really going to help users do, aside from sync being so as big of a deal as it is, but really coupling this together with the link tool really gives the sellers and users an opportunity for like ultimate checks and balances, because you've got sync giving you real-time reports of basically your catalog health. Plus, on top of that, this new link tool is going to give you the ability to, with just 2 clicks, link and get your listings IDs updated back to your List Perfectly listing.
So I can't tell you how excited I am personally about Link. Like it again, and I think if you're somebody who has a big store, or you have a lot of listings, this is a worry. And so being able to just make sure and being able to know that nothing's going to double sell and you don't have to worry and everything's where it should be. The peace of mind that the new link feature gives me personally is like astronomical. So, and I also love the idea, because you were right, things happen. Links get broken for multiple reasons, and not just on the LP side. Platforms do it also. So, so the fact that we can now use this, it's fabulous.
Yeah. And just to kind of talk through what this feature is. So essentially, once you have List Perfectly installed, once you go to your active listings on the marketplace, you're going to see there's basically 2 statuses. Copied indicates that specific listing ID is found in your List Perfectly catalog. Link means it's not. When you click that link button, that title is immediately searched back into your List Perfectly listings. Once it's found, 1 click, you can choose, and that new ID and status is updated back on your List Perfectly listing. So this really is, it's kind of wild. This feature is really going to be impactful for at every stage of List Perfectly customers, meaning somebody that's brand new, somebody that is a big seller, small sellers, somebody that keeps their catalog in perfect shape, somebody that maybe they do a lot of relisting and delisting. The reality is that there's some other tools out there and bot-like tools that just pump away on Mercari and things like that. It breaks the link. So it's important to get that back onto your List Perfectly listing so you can manage it. And now this really just gives you that tool to be able to do that quickly.
Well, and some people are ingrained in the way they do things. And even though, like, I'm always like saying, delist and relist isn't a practice that I think is worth it, and I have reasons why I say that, there is a huge segment of the reseller population who want to do that, and they want to do it often, every 30 days, every 60 days. And so this will give them the ability to now use List Perfectly in a new way. And if Stan, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it's all plans, right? This isn't a Pro Plus feature.
Yeah, no, this will go to all plans. This is, we talked about this is very important for people to be able to use List Perfectly and keep their inventory in line and be able to manage their listings. So, we really felt like this was a tool that could be used across. We definitely didn't want to tuck it away in a certain plan and make that a feature that you felt like you maybe needed or wanted to upgrade exclusively for that. So we wanted to make sure, because with List Perfectly, you can upgrade and downgrade as much as you want. And no matter when you're doing that, it's important to have your catalog linked and correct. So I don't want somebody to experience an upgrade and then they find out, oh, it's a mess for me because I didn't have the best practices or whatever. But on the front end, for somebody that's brand new to List Perfectly, because we talked about a little bit of all the benefits for existing members, somebody that's brand new, just to touch on that for a minute, most people that come to List Perfectly already have listings across a few different marketplaces. It's not that common that somebody's like, okay, I have a brand new business, I'm ready to get started, and I want to cross post. Like, they know all these things that they want to do. So, super common. I have a large Poshmark closet. I've been messing around on Mercari, or I have a decent amount on eBay. And they come to List Perfectly and they need their catalog updated and current right then. And this really makes that process so easy. Import from one platform, link your listings with just a few clicks. So it's really, really going to be a tool that's used for every customer.
And sync and link rhyme, ladies and gentlemen. So
that's the main reason we did it.
I mean, it's great.
Thanks for pointing that out, Doug. All right. So so let's get back to Pro Plus. When does this roll out?
Well, we're getting it ready for eBay Open. That is the goal. We will have let me just say, the plan itself, it's not like you can go and buy the plan. We're allowing anyone from our customers to eBay Open participants to come in, sign up for the Pro plan at the $69 a month rate, and then you will have an opt-in. So when you're in your Pro plan, you'll be able to opt into trying the Pro Plus for 3 months. So we're going to give you this. I mean, this is our fourth quarter. Let's make sure that we give you guys the tools that you need to succeed in this fourth quarter 2023. So everybody can enjoy Pro Plus for 3 months, starting from eBay Open.
Any other features you would like to mention, Amanda or Patrick?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. We got a whole list. Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
There is. I mean, probably one of the biggest things for anybody that signs up, opts in, really probably your biggest impact that you're going to notice is a whole new catalog experience. So this is going to give you access to a brand new catalog view that is totally customizable. You can choose what columns you want to see. We'll have multiple tabs to show active listings versus unlisted. Sellers that are selling multi-quantity will have an exclusive out of stock tab. So this is, I mean, it's very robust. It's going to have a whole mobile experience improvement to be able to navigate through your catalog on the mobile. So that's probably going to be one of the first things that you notice at first, is how impressive this is, how much control you have, how nice it looks, and it for existing members, I mean, the speed increase is impressive for searching your catalog, large sellers. There's just so many benefits wrapped up in this, and this has been something that's been in the works for quite a while. There's been a lot of work and effort put into this to get us to this point and be able to get this out to users. So that is one of the probably one of the biggest first impressions.
A lot of people might ask, well, I mean, this new catalog is so nice, because I really think it's really nice. They might be like, well, how come we waited so long to release it? Well, it took a lot of work in the back end. It might seem like, there's I mean, you're going to notice a big difference. So that's all I'll say. I mean, your productivity is going to increase so much with this new catalog. And I mean, Go Tech team, really, they put so much effort into this. And we're very excited to get it into your hands so you can use it too. But there are many, many additional features coming with Pro Plus. Something that I personally think is important is keeping your inventory in a decent amount shape. And so one of the things that we've added is inventory labels with QR codes. So when you list something, you can print off a little sticker. It'll have a QR code, stick it on your package. So whatever method you use, if you use hang tags to hang clothes, or maybe you put stuff in bags or boxes, whatever, you can stick this label onto the box. It'll have your title, it'll have your SKU and a QR code. So you scan it and you quickly get over to that listing. That I find is very handy, because I can't tell you how many times as a reseller, I would be going through and I'd find something that fell off and it just fell out of my inventory for whatever reason. And I'm typing, trying to figure out where is this item? Where's this listing? Can't find it. And if I only had that QR code to just be able to scan it and pull it right up, I never would have had this issue.
And one of the great things about this is somebody who I have about 15,000 items right now on eBay. And for me, it's great to be able to search through my I do inventory, because I love eBay, but things fall off, even though they say they don't, they do. And so I love being able to search for the positive and the negative, meaning I'll go through and I can search in the catalog and then I can see, okay, those things are supposed to be there. But then when I end up with extras, I have my own internal inventory system, but now I can just scan it and say, is this supposed to be in this box? Is this supposed to be in a different box? Did this fall off at eBay? So it's like a double-edged thing. It will allow you search for the positive and for the negative so that you always know where your inventory is, because inventory management, the larger you get, the bigger you get, is so important. Because I do a mastermind on Listing Party, which we have not mentioned, and I'm going to in a minute. Listing Party, and when you account health, having the ability to always be able to resell on any of these platforms and keeping up to date with them, keeping within terms of service, making sure you're doing all the right things. Those are extremely important. And I don't think that we as resellers talk about them very much. I talk about it in Mastermind. But one of the things that List Perfectly does, and does so eloquently and so on the nose, is making sure everything we do keeps you in terms of service and helps you keep in terms of service. Because not being able to find things, and so having to cancel listings, you do that enough time, you are no longer selling on eBay. Yeah. So this is a new thing that I really think is going to be extremely helpful.
Yeah, I mean, you're so right, Trish. And I remember being a reseller, and we had our own system, but still, we had to print out the labels. And what we had to do is, whether you use your own, you handwrite them, you print them out. This method, if you have a printer set up and it's ready to go when you're listing, I mean, literally, it's like a button. You click it, spits out the label, you stick it on, and you move on. I mean, it makes it easier. It makes it easier to find your listings, scan it, and you're ready to go. So that was just one feature. So there's a bunch. Okay, so let's go through the list, Patrick. Patrick has a list, because I mean, honestly, there's so many. We had to make a list.
Yeah, and we're gonna, I mean, honestly, keep it. This is kind of just this first initial kind of release. There's lots more on tap, but the first one, probably a really big one that has been highly requested, is sub accounts. The ability to have multiple accounts under one primary account. And with that is going to come, well, lots of different things, but one of the primary things is the control over sub accounts and what they can and cannot do inside of yours. So the reality is, for example, sometimes, you might be working with somebody and for whatever reason, something happens and they need to stop working with you. These sub accounts, this gives sellers the ability to kind of create a, more of a business and give maybe virtual assistant number one certain control, access to not delete listing or limit the ability to delete listings, specific access to certain pages that maybe you don't want them to do. Maybe you work with somebody that only creates listings. You don't need them to cross post. So, it's different flows, but that is one that really that will be released and will be super helpful. And with that kind of comes also an increased limit in some of the other features that List Perfectly offers, like photo room background removals. So, if you're working with sub accounts, you'll have a larger combined available limit and things like that.
Yep. So sub accounts we covered, and sub accounts are great. It's just like Patrick said. I mean, it's a great way for, let's say you have a VA, and just like Patrick said, you don't want them accessing your entire account. Just do what they do. You can segment. The other thing I think is pretty cool about sub accounts is you can segment your inventory. So even if you don't have somebody else working for you, maybe you have different stores. Maybe you have a physical location and one is on one side of the town, the other's on the other. You can really you can keep them separate so that they have their own entity, but under one master primary account.
Okay, I never knew that. So say that again. So I am somebody who, this isn't true. So I'm just making this up. I have, 15,000 items at my house, but I also have a storage unit. across town and I have 15,000 items there, I'm able to segment those.
Yeah.
So I could have like, unbelievable. So that would mean that I could use I could do like 1 day shipping on here, and over there I could do 4 day shipping and not worry about,
yeah.
I mean, that opens up a ton of possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what's really cool. You know, if you have like, you know, you just want to gauge the success of one shop over another and keep them truly separate. The nice thing about the primary account is they can look at the sub account and at any time and see how it's going. But the sub account can be restricted and only see their account if that's how you want to set it up. The other cool thing about it is, and believe it or not, this is a request that we get a lot. Some people build up their list perfectly and then want to sell it with their business. And with the sub account, you could actually make a business of building up your sub account and then selling that off. And we have the ability to just literally, like, you can separate that sub account. And so it spins off and it can be its own list perfectly account.
So you would actually have the ability to sell the account.
Yes.
Interesting. Because right now we do say to people that, like, you know, if you get another account, put them all in, and then you can give that, they can download them or however it works. But this would really give you the ability to just, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were somebody that had 10,000 listings and you're like, I am done selling these Ray Dunn mugs. All right. Like, you know, whatever. I'm just done with these hard good mugs. They're in the sub account. I'm going to sell off this account with the inventory and just spin it off. And yeah, it's ready to go. It's its whole entire account.
That is very cool. Like, really, that's kind of a game changer, really, for me. I mean, not for me personally, but I meant thinking about, it's great.
Yeah.
So somebody could literally build up little businesses and sell them off.
Yes. We actually have some List Perfectly customers that do just that. And this is really going to enable them to, I mean, manage it from one account instead of logging out, logging into the other one, log. They don't need to do that anymore.
We've talked about sync. We've talked about inventory labels, the auto end with sales detection. We talked about the new catalog experience. And then I touched base briefly on whenever you utilize these sub accounts, it ups the limits of features like photo room and things like that. So it kind of wraps it up for what we would talk about right at this moment. But I can tell you that there's lots of other features that are coming with Pro Plus. So, you know, I would highly encourage anybody to take advantage of the kind of the entry point and what the features are being offered on initial release, and take advantage of the offer of getting it for multiple months at the Pro Plan price, because it really gives you an opportunity to start using it and get it into your business while these other features continue to grow and come out.
And I would just like to add that, you know, anyone who already is a customer of ours, you have access to Listing Party. And one of the things that I know will happen when this happens, and we haven't discussed this, I'm just throwing it out there. I know one of the things that will happen is there'll be listing parties for this specific plan, because it will be so different and so much more robust, et cetera, et cetera. There will be listing parties just for this. And so I want everyone to realize that, you know, we are here to help you. We want you to grow. We're only successful when you're successful. And so we're going to put in as much effort as you guys do. And so if you want a party every day about how to do X, Y, Z, there are going to be people there who are going to help you and figure that out. And so I don't want to say we're going to hold your hand, but we're going to hold your hand a little, you know, until you figure out how to get all this under control and how it helps you and what you can. And let me tell you, there'll be tons of people there who are doing it already and can help you and will show you how they use it now. And so just keep that in mind. One of the great things about List Perfectly is Listing Party, and having that as a tool that's in your resource bag that you can pull out anytime is invaluable. And it's a free thing that we give you guys just for being part of List Perfectly. And I don't know if we toot our own horn enough about it because it's awesome. So that is just one girl's humble opinion.
I'm so glad you said that, Trish. I couldn't agree more. It is such a fabulous resource. Like there, people, we have a 24-hour channel. So even if there's not a particular party going on at the time of day that you're listing, you hop into the 24-hour channel and more than likely there's somebody in there listing. And it's really cool because if you're a 2 a.m. lister and you want a little company, like literally people will just be there listing, and every now and then somebody will say, hey, I'm listing this. What, anybody know anything about this? And I mean, that's what it's there for. It's there for you guys.
Well, and what's great about it is not just that, it's kind of like the water cooler a little bit. We are solo entrepreneurs, most of us. And even when you get into the bigger stores, and what we're talking about mostly is for bigger sellers and how you do it and all these things, even that we use a lot of VAs. You have somebody who just comes in for a few hours. You're still doing a lot of it or most of it by yourself. And so in being able to go in and have somebody say to you, hey, how were your sales yesterday? That can be life-changing, because how many of us nobody asks us, how were your sales today? Well, they were pretty darn good, or they were awful, or whatever. And it's just great to have somebody who can commiserate with you, know what you're going through. And then also it's great to go somewhere and learn some stuff. How do we do this better? Why do we do it this way? What do you guys think about this? It's a great resource. And I think with Pro Plus, it will become even more robust, because there'll be more people in there using it for different reasons, growing, getting stronger. I just think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. And I don't know if I want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but something that I'm cooking up here is I'm using my own product, right? I was reselling for many years. Many people know that already. I was working with Clara in the Clothing Vault, but it's been a minute for me since I've listed, like really listed as a reseller. So for me, this is the moment that I'm getting back in the game and full time. And I'm going to start my reselling journey again. I'm going to help my parents actually with downsizing some of the stuff that they have. So this is going to be an adventure, and I'm really, really looking forward to this. And Trish is actually helped me out.
Yep. And what I love about this idea, Amanda, is a couple of things. A, it's going to give you a different perspective about using the product, and you can call Patrick and say, Patrick, why the heck do we do it like this? Or he may say, why aren't you doing it like this? It will give you a new perspective. Yeah. But it's also great because we can show people your journey and how you're going along and how you're using it. And I think most of the time, that's how people really learn. It's not just us talking, it's showing somebody and looking at the story and figuring out, oh, I can do that for my parents. I mean, and Amanda and I are of a certain age, and things start to happen to the people we love. And sometimes we have to help them. It's going to be a great story, Amanda. I really look forward to it.
I'm excited. We're going to have fun.
We will.
And you're going to take your consignment cut, right? Each of you?
Yes.
Well, this is just to let everybody know. Most people know I've been home helping my mom through some health challenges. So really, whatever we sell is going to go into a healthcare fund.
Exactly.
So I'm happy to do that for my parents.
Absolutely.
Thank you both, Amanda and Patrick, for joining us today.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much. It was great. And you guys are awesome. And we don't see enough of you two, I don't think. And I would love it if you would hop on a little bit more regularly, because I do think that the techie stuff, people really like to hear about it.
And we're very excited about the Pro Plus plan, and a lot of sellers are, some that have been testing it. So it's going to be a game changer. It's going to be big.
Yeah, we're excited too. It's coming very soon. So yeah. Stay tuned.
Super excited. Thank you guys for having us and letting us share the big news.